G'day humans, Chris Stead here. Today I'm doing a review of Jetstar JQ37, the flight from Sydney to Denpasar in Bali, Indonesia. Now this is day one actually of a big trip that we did, 60 days, and I'm putting up a lot of content from that entire 60 days, all the different things that we did, so make sure you subscribe and keep an eye on the channel because there's plenty more to come. But in this particular video, I'm going to take you on a tour through the experience, talk you through what it was like on that Jetstar flight in economy from Sydney to Bali. Let's go. Now it's important to note, I think, that your JQ37 flight might be slightly different to this one. It's because they've changed from the Dreamliner jets through to the A321neo jets. But the thing is, I went on this flight after the change. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on there because it looks to me like the Dreamliner, but it was supposed to be the A321. Anyway, I'll talk you through the differences as we go. A lot of it's obviously the same in terms of the entertainment unit. That's one of the differences. So the new planes don't have that headrest, that adjustable headrest. So that's one of the key differences. And the other main key difference is it's slightly less length with the legs. Anyway, I wasn't expecting much from this flight. I can see there, by the way, you can just plug in normal headsets in nowadays, which is great. There's USB charging port as well. No, I am, just so you know, I am 6'4", so 194 centimeters, and I just fit into this flight. So if it has shrunk a little bit in the A321neo, and this isn't the A321neo as it was supposed to be, then that's something to note. So maybe check which of the particular aircrafts the JQ37 is when you do the flight, just to see if there's a slight differences you need to take into account with this review. But I wasn't expecting much from this flight because I've had lots of very average experiences on Jetstar, but I was actually reasonably pleasantly surprised. The fact my legs actually fit in, which is super unusual in economy for Jetstar, was pretty good. As you see, the headsets aren't the greatest, so use your own if you can. That is available to you. But overall, I had a pretty comfortable flight. Now, being that it is an economy flight, there's a bunch of stuff you don't just get. For example, food and entertainment and blankets and pillows. So these are things you need to take into account. The costs on the airline are, look, not great. They're not terrible. They're not resort prices, but you know, you can get away with a bit of food. The flight to Bali is about 6.5 hours, so it's not too long. So we ended up just getting pre-booking one meal for us to eat because with the kids and it being an evening flight, we thought, look, we'll just pay for dinner, have dinner on there, and then we'll be in Bali, and then whatever, we can go get some fried rice wherever we want. So that's the way that we approached it. Didn't bother with booze or anything like that or drinks, just had our water, and that's how we kind of kept the costs down. And we got the entertainment units because, again, with the kids, you need something going. So we gave those a go as well, which I'll show you in a sec. Now in terms of the food quality, it doesn't look great, but it was okay. It wasn't fantastic, don't get me wrong. I wasn't expecting much, and it slightly beat expectations. But obviously it's not presented particularly beautifully, is it? It looks a little bit like my dog bowl, but it was all right. You know, it was all right to eat. Now in terms of the entertainment, the screen's a little bit small, but it is responsive. And there was an okay, I thought, decent selection of entertainment to watch, especially for a 6.5 hour flight. It also got games on there as well, so you can, the kids can get into that. Just be aware that if it's a screen that has tapping on it, if it's a game that requires you to tap the screen constantly, that means you are tapping the back of the head of the person in front of you. I've been the victim of such things, and it's horrible. So just be aware of that. It's not the greatest experience for the person in front of you. But otherwise, I think it was $10 to get the entertainment if you book before you're on a flight. I think it was $13 if you book it on the flight. So that is potentially worth it if you've got kids, just to get you through those 6 hours. It does add up though, the more kids you have. And you can see the rise and low in that. But like I said, if you're on that A321neo version of the JQ37, you're not going to get that headrest, and I'd be concerned about my knees fitting in that one. You do have wider seats on that though. So you've got a little bit wider seats, but I think we'd all prefer length than width. Didn't sound so great. See how it's got the middle thing in, like it's not so all-encompassing in the middle there. It just creates a bit more space in this flight. Sometimes you get those big solid blocks of like food or booze in the middle there, and it can really make the flight feel quite claustrophobic. The toilets are incredibly cramped though, especially for a big bloke like me, but you know, overall for anyone, I think they're really quite small. But overall, the flight was turned up on time, left on time. It was reasonably comfortable. It was pretty, you know, relatively quiet, but didn't bounce around too much. And we got to Bali in one piece, feeling reasonably rested and not too hungry or anything like that. So, you know, for the money that you save by going an economy flight with Jetstar, I was pretty happy with the flight, but like I said, there may have been a bit of a change there. So when you take this review into account, please just have a look and make sure whether it is the Dreamliner, or which is a 787-8, I think it's called, or if it's the newer planes that they've been bringing in, which is the A321neo, which just has, it's quite a flight, it's more fuel economic, but it has slightly less length in the seats and you lose that headrest. Definitely bring a neck pillow with you or something like that to get you through. And look, I recommend a jumper as well because like I said, there's no blankets, and I actually found the temperature was pretty well regulated on this flight, and I didn't have any problems with, you know, sudden bursts of hot or sudden bursts of cold. And you know, our luggage came off in one piece, all good, nothing was lost. And before you knew it, we were out walking through the streets of Bali. So yep, there you go. There's a bit of an insight into the experience on the Jetstar JQ37 flight from Sydney to Denpasar, Bali. I'd happily do it again if I can save that money. I'm willing to take the hit on the entertainment, food, and little pleasantries in order to just get over to where the good stuff starts. All right, I hope that helped. I'll leave you with a little bit of a vibe on what it's like when you first enter into Bali and what you can expect if it's your first time over there as soon as you get your feet on the ground in Kuta. I'm Chris Stead. Make sure you check out those other videos. Until next time, I'll check you later.